Well, that didn't take long at all. Just 2 months after the Queen's death, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, they're back making a living by trashing the royal family. You got to ask what shameless grifters they are. They've flown home to California, they've dried their crocodile tears for the Queen, and they're now back to dishing the dirt on Harry's family because, after all, that's the only thing they've got to sell. And if it's fake dirt, who cares? Now, just 2 months after the Queen's funeral, it's announced that Harry and Meghan are going to fly to New York to accept a Human Rights Award from the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Foundation for their heroic stand. But heroic stand on what exactly? Well, the foundation's president, Kerry Kennedy, daughter of the former US Attorney General, said this supposedly heroic couple called out the supposed racism of the royals. She said they went to the oldest institution in UK history and told them what they were doing wrong, that they couldn't have structural racism within the institution, that they could not maintain a misunderstanding about mental health. Now, seriously, these heroic warriors, they told the royals to their face that they were structurally racist. I mean, what does that mean? Structurally racist. But that isn't actually the story at all. All that Harry and Meghan did after cutting and running from their royal duties was to make one totally unsupported and rejected claim to Oprah Winfrey on an American TV special, a smear that they couldn't even tell straight. Now, if you listen to Meghan Markle, someone in the royals said something racist when she was pregnant with her first child.
I was pregnant all around this same time. So we have in tandem the conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title, and also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What?
I've got to point out here that Meghan Markle's record for truth-telling is about as bad as Pinocchio's. I mean, just look at this one, for instance. For a start, her children weren't entitled to be called Prince and Princess until the Queen's death, which has just happened, no issue. Second, Harry said in this very same interview, it came on later, he said, well, actually, whatever was said about their child was said before Harry and Meghan even got married. They weren't even a proper item at the time. And the Queen later said, well, you know, she didn't actually want to call anyone a liar here, but she said, recollections of what's said may differ. Now, since then, the most likely story about this racist comment, this one racist comment, allegedly, the most likely story reported by biographer Tom Bower in his damning book on Meghan Markle is that Camilla, now the new Queen, jokingly asked, when redhead Harry first mentioned, I've got a new girlfriend, etc., she asked whether their child would have red afros. And even that joke is unconfirmed. Structural racist. That joke, structurally racist. I mean, really, I've got to ask, where is this structural racism of the royals that these two professional victims have confronted heroically? Just this one stupid anecdote, told on TV in America, denied, and that's it. That's their evidence. That's heroic. A long-distance smear in response to allegedly one woman's bad joke about red afros. It's so pathetic. I mean, seriously, is that the biggest fight that this Human Rights Award could reward? The bravest stand against oppression in the whole wide world? I mean, seriously. And is this really why Meghan and Harry heroically fled to the United States to become multimillionaires and escape the hard work of actually being a royal? Is that really the reason, this racism, this structural racism? In fact, you'll probably remember that the first time Markle posed as a victim of the royal family back in 2019 was when she broke down during a royal tour of South Africa. And at that time, the supposed racism of the royals wasn't mentioned by anyone. Instead, it was me, 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 me. Why don't people ask me how hard life is doing royal stuff?
You add this on top of just trying to be a new mom or trying to be a newlywed. It's, yeah, well, I guess, and also thank you for asking, because not many people have asked if I'm okay.
And the answer is, would it be fair to say not really okay, since it's really been a struggle?
Yes.
That was a big complaint back then. And later on to Oprah Winfrey, Meghan Markle, elaborated really was about, why wouldn't the royals organise a psychologist for poor me instead of leaving it to me and Harry to look after that for themselves, like normal people always do, or should do. I mean, I tell you, this is a very needy woman.
I went to the institution and I said that I needed to go somewhere to get help. I said that I've never felt this way before and I need to go somewhere. And I was told that I couldn't, that it wouldn't be good for the institution. And so I went to Human Resources. And I said, I need help, because in my old job there was a union and they would protect me. And I remember this conversation like it was yesterday, because they said, my heart goes out to you because I see how bad it is, but there's nothing we can do to protect you because you're not a paid employee of the institution.
And later, of course, we found out that if you really had to feel sorry for someone in the palace when Meghan Markle was there, it was actually her staff who complained of her bullying, which she denies. Nannies were sacked, staff reduced to tears, others shown the door. Markle allegedly even made her sister-in-law cry. And since then, Meghan Markle, abetted by her spineless husband, has poured on the pain for the royals. Now, accepting this award in New York on December 6th, that must be, I think, for the royals, the last straw with these two. I mean, seriously. Unless, of course, Harry and Meghan, sort of they rush out and say, no, Kerry Kennedy's got it all wrong. We don't deserve this award for fighting the structural racism of the royals, because there isn't any. What chance of them doing that? But, I know they realise that this idea of the structural racism of the royals, it is a fantasy of America's royals, By America's royals, I mean the kind of entitled elites that can afford to pay the $1 million that Kennedy's charging for sitting next to Harry and Meghan at the prize night while they whine about being victims. $1 million. That buys you a lot of tears of self-pity. There is so much money now in defaming the British royals, and the kind of Americans promoting Harry and Meghan, they're going to believe almost anything. But like I say, this has to be the last straw for Harry's father, the new King Charles III. How much longer can this man put up with his son dumping on the family when Charles went out of his way to offer the olive branch during the mourning for the Queen? He included Harry and the poisonous Meghan Markle in the mourning ceremonies for the Queen, despite everything that's said. He even ordered Prince William to include his brother and his wife in expecting flowers left by the mourners. Again, despite everything Meghan particularly had done to William's wife, Kate. And Charles let Harry wear his old beloved uniform, military uniform, that he was no longer entitled to, as he stood guard over the Queen's coffin. Extended the hand of peace, but none of it worked. I mean, sure, there were stories, of Harry now feeling so guilty, having gone back to the family, and, it's going to go back to America and rewrite his book that's due out next year. Rewrite that book to cut out the nastier bits about his family. You saw the headlines about that. He's had second thoughts. But by accepting this award, that tells you everything. That's not right. Harry can't stop rubbishing the royals. Because without this trash that he sells, he's got nothing. He's got no books he can sell. He's got no more multi-million Spotify contracts to sign. He's got no more awards to collect for his courage, his heroism. It's incredible, isn't it? You can be a complete bastard to your own family. You can collect millions of pieces of silver for selling them out and then still get a prize for your heroism. I tell you, Judas was ahead of his time. Even he didn't get a deal this sweet. And by Harry's side, there's his wife, Meghan Markle, whipping the circus along, whispering to him, more, more, more.